It's May 2005. I get an email from the Arizona Humane Society asking a desperate plea, looking for foster parents to help with the influx of kittens they were receiving every day. You see, it was kitten season, and that's a time of year where even more kittens are born than any other time of year, and the already overwhelmed shelters get an influx of unwanted cats that need help. Well, I thought about it, we're dog people, but I thought, this is a good thing to do. It'll help out the shelter staff. But cats, come on. Everybody knows dogs are where it's at, right? Cats are hissy, they're aloof, they're too independent. Not like a little fluffy puppy that'll follow you around with such dedication. But we'll give this a shot, and we're not gonna get involved or too attached to these guys. Well, 3 days later, I come home with 2 little 10-ounce bundles of fur, for one of them being Ziggy. We named him Ziggy. And he was black. Isn't a black cat supposed to be bad luck if it crosses your path or something? What did I get myself into here? But little bag of bones brought him home. And what is even more important when you're fostering kittens is not that they have to be 2 pounds and you hold them until they're spayed and neutered, but also the socialization is critical when they're young. You see, kittens only have a 12-week period from the time they're born, and at 12 weeks, if they're not exposed to people and they learn to trust them, that window closes. And it takes a time, you can do it, but it's really difficult for them to ever warm up and become good household pets. So learning to spend time with them, playing with them, touching their ears and toes was really critical. And I did that gladly every day. Now, little Ziggy here with my 2 dogs was not thriving like the other kitten was, and he was really struggling to gain weight. I took him back to the vet a couple of times. And the 3rd time I took him back, the vet said to me, listen, it's kitten season. We're getting 300 plus cats in every week that we need to find homes for. This guy's not thriving. We can put him down and move on. What? He's not going down under my care or anybody else's for that matter. No. So I got the extra meds. And with that, and also a little extra help from a friend who told me that if you give cats goat milk, it will help them to grow. Well, let me tell you right now, never give a cat goat milk. Oh my God, the smell that came out of those 2 little guys still makes my eyes water when I think about it. But we battled through, and with the extra meds, little Ziggy started to get better. Now, Stan was not a fan at all of me fostering these kittens, but I think Ziggy knew that, and he would climb up and be with Stan as much as possible, and you could see Stan was not too excited about it. But time came, and he was 2 pounds ready to go back, and I said, I think we need to keep this one of these kittens. Stan was like, no way. Cats, no, why are we gonna keep them? But I convinced him. 6 months later, Ziggy was bigger than dogs. And I thought, maybe he'll need a companion or something, but we let that thought go, and I continued to foster for about another year until came across this little guy in one of the litters whose name was Marley. Now, Marley was just as lovable as Ziggy, super curious and sweet, and just like Ziggy followed me around, which kittens aren't supposed to do, right? And I just fell in love with him, and I told Stan, 1 more cat's not that much more work, it's the same. Well, I convinced him enough that he let Marley stay. But Marley and Ziggy didn't really hit it off as much as I had hoped. And Marley would chase Ziggy around, but Ziggy always wanted to get away with him, as well as the dogs, who gave him the same cold shoulder. And now I've got this little kitten who seems really depressed because he doesn't have a playmate. Well, that was just the way it was going to be. And about a year later, we had continued to foster. And it came another little gray kitten, this little guy up here. That's Sammy. And from the minute that he came in the house, he thought that Marley was his mom. And so he would chase him around and groom him. And Marley's a male, but Sammy would try to suckle off Marley's little male teats, and you could literally hear him going, trying to get milk out of a male cat. I mean, it must have hurt Marley like crazy, but Marley just lay there and let him do it. And they were bonded at the hip. I mean, these cats were constantly together. So I think you know where this is going, right? Sammy's now 2 pounds, and I say to Stan, I think we should keep him. I mean, they're really a bonded pair. Now, Stan had his limit. He said, 2 cats is one thing, but 3, that's just gross, right? I mean, 3 cats, or what if our house starts to stink? I mean, but I said, hey, my friend Kim has got 10 cats, and when you walk into her house, you wouldn't even know she has one. This is the gospel truth. So that blew that argument out of the water. And Stan, being the big-hearted guy he is, said, all right, definitely they love each other. We'll keep them. And as it turned out, they are still bonded pair. They're together all the time. They love each other dearly. And even Ziggy in time came around and started to be curious about what the other 2 were doing. So now our house has a lot of balance, 3 kitties. And I'm known as the crazy cat lady now because I have more cats than dogs. And so people start asking me questions, and I had a friend who lives in downtown Phoenix in the historic area who called me with a frantic phone call one day saying, Sherrie, I had 3 mama cats give litters in my yard. What am I going to do with all these kittens? Well, I foster. I'll take care of them. That weekend, I go to her house. The cats were about 6 weeks old at that point. They were able to eat on their own with my cardboard box of my towels. And I bring home 13 kittens. Didn't know what I was getting into. So I've got 16 cats in my house at this point, right? These little guys had never been touched by people. They were covered with dirt. Fleas were literally jumping off of them. They had eye infections, hissing. I thought they were going to bite me. They were so feral and scared of people. But I brought them home, cleaned them up, got them used to me whether they liked it or not. And everybody loved having these many cats around. My niece decided she wanted this to be her Facebook picture. So you know that phrase, herding cats, took on a whole new meaning when I tried to get 13 kittens in a basket for her picture. But it was still a lot of fun. And they quickly started to turn around, and they did become little loving pets, which is such an amazing thing to see. I mean, in this life where we put a lot of effort into things and we don't see the results quickly, fostering is so rewarding because in just one short week, you can see something like this. This kitten from last winter's fostering, he would have been blind within no short time, and he would have starved to death or been eaten. But in 1 week, with eye drops, medicated eye drops, and little TLC, you have a happy, healthy kitten. You talk about a feeling of accomplishment. Well, that was all well and good. We got those kittens into a foster and adopted. But what about the fact that Maricopa County has the 2nd highest euthanasia rate of cats in the United States in 2011 when I started this? And that 1 cat and its offspring over a 10-year period producing 4 litters per year, which is average, with 4 kittens per litter. 1 kitten, 1 cat can produce 1,398,101 kittens. Now, we got to stop this problem at the root. They have to stop reproducing. We had gone back, and I learned about this new process called trap, neuter, return. There's a program in town by the Animal Defense League of Arizona where the volunteers go out, they trap cats that are feral, that are never going to become pets, and they alter them so that they won't continue to reproduce. Well, Mary went with me last year. We trapped some cats. It's very easy. You get them in the trap. They go pretty easily if they're hungry. Put a cover over them. And the next morning, you take them to the shelter. This day, we had 23 cats we caught in about an hour and a half. Get them spayed. Also ear tip them so people know that they're fixed and they don't get to go through that again if someone else traps, such as this one. Let them out, and there they are. So, in conclusion, my cats are one of the greatest joys of my life. And we found that we judge what we don't understand. I was so wrong. My Marley here is my #1 office companion. Anytime I'm working in the office, he's sitting about a foot from me on any paper that I have. They're also my greatest models, and I love photographing and tormenting my cats with pictures and my Fosters. They're great fun. Stan's even come around, and now what I've learned, he's always got a cat on his lap, that life without cats is not an option. Whatever you judge and fear, learn more about it, and you may say like me, I was so wrong.